So, Amazon has the Bond franchise now, and they are working on the next iteration of the world's most famous spy. Whether it is a series of movies or something on streaming seems undecided as of yet, but with Denis Villeneuve tagged to direct, it will most likely be a visually stunning, deeply thoughtful film with a theatrical release. There are two big questions, though. Number one, will it follow the books and start James Bond off as a new 00 agent? Or will it be something entirely new outside of book canon? I'm pulling for following book canon, since most films seemingly related to the books use the title only and none of the plot. Not all, but most. The story of James Bond as it appears in the novels has never been told. If I had to say, I think the Craig films captured the spirit of the character best. As the books progress, Bond gets more beat up, more depleted, more traumatized physically, mentally, and emotionally. That only happens with Craig's Bond, and his 5 outings comprise a complete story from Bond's first mission to his last. The second question is, who will play Bond? Some actors getting a lot of mention as frontrunners include Callum Turner, Jacob Elordi, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, among others. No idea who Villeneuve would be partial to be honest, but there are some criteria I have for whoever plays the role. First, he needs to be hands-on brutal. Bond should be a killer first, be it with a weapon or bare hands. Of the first 5 Bonds we got in theaters, I felt only Connery's Bond met this criterion. He broke someone's neck with a fireplace poker, for Pete's sake. It wasn't all Connery, of course, it was the writing, but Connery had a physicality that came across on screen, and I could believe his portrayal of Bond as being someone capable of killing. The best Bond for this criterion, however, was Daniel Craig. The Bond we saw in his 5 films was brutal and cold-blooded, an emotionless killer when it was called for, a real physical specimen. Whoever plays the next version of Bond has to make me believe they can get their hands dirty. Second, he has to be an intellectual assassin. There has to be a mind behind the muscle. This all depends on the writing, for sure, but the actor has to look like someone smart. I never bought Connery's Bond as particularly intelligent, and while other Bond actors had whatever quality makes someone look smart, they didn't necessarily have the physical presence needed for my first criteria. I would like to see a Bond who can disappear into a cover role, meaning someone who can do different voices or accents. Lazenby's Bond was written that way, and perhaps Connery's Bond a little, but Lazenby had his voice dubbed when he disguised himself as Sir Hilary Bray. Thanks, George Baker, for that. I won't get into detail about Connery masquerading as a Japanese man. The less said, the better. Suffice it to say, I want an actor who can do the voices himself, convincingly play one character pretending to be a different character, an actor who makes me see how brilliant James Bond is. Third, and perhaps most important, is this. I want a young Bond. I want a Bond in his late 20s. There is no clear mention of how old James Bond was when he became a 00 agent, but 28 seems very likely given Bond's participation in World War II, how he lied about his age to enlist, and the time elapsed between the end of the war and his first 00 mission. According to the books, the official retirement age for a 00 agent is 45. So few actors who played Bond were the right age as far as I'm concerned, even though I like some of them very much. Connery started at 32 and ended at 41. Not bad. Lazenby was 29 in his only outing, so he slips right in there for me. Moore was already 45 when he started playing Bond, although Connery looked much older than Moore by then, ironically. He finished at 57, so Moore was actually way too old to realistically play Bond. Dalton started at 41 and was 43 when he made his second and final film. Too old, in my opinion. Brosnan, 42 when he started, 49 when he finished. They got actors who looked Bondish, I suppose, and had maturity and charisma that can't be denied, but yikes. My favorite Bond is Daniel Craig, controversial as that might be, and he started when he was 38. His first mission, 38 years old. Craig was 51 when the cover closed on his run as Bond, but he played a Bond who was already retired, beaten, traumatized. I can let it slide, I guess. Of the front runners I listed above, Jacob Elordi matches my criteria best, especially since he is just 28 years old now, Amazon is reportedly looking for a Bond actor under 30, so he fits the bill nicely as long as they get the movie out by 2028. He's been getting more and more buzz of late with his turns in Saltburn, Frankenstein, and Wuthering Heights. I wouldn't mind him as James Bond, truth be told. Those are my 3 criteria: tough, smart, and young. A physical presence, an acting range that allows for deception and convincing disguise, and the youth to start James Bond off as a fresh 00 agent and let him grow as the franchise progresses without becoming borderline geriatric. What do you think? Am I asking too much? What kind of Bond would you like to see? Are there any actors you favor or hate? Drop a comment and let me know what's on your mind. Also, leave a like if you enjoyed this video, share this with other Bond fans who might want to weigh in, and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. Everything helps, and I would really appreciate it. I'm Jason. Thanks for watching. See you next time.